in the videos that I've done for the Jupiter transit from the rising sign, and then I also followed it up from the moon sign perspective, which sign your moon is in your horoscope. So I saw some comments of people, but now those who are my regular viewers, you will know that when I do the results from the rising sign perspective, I'm talking more of the material results, the potential for the material results you will get. But when I'm talking from the moon sign perspective, I'm talking about where your mental focus is there, where your attention is there, where your emotions are attached, where your fears are, where your anxieties are. So it may be slightly different. When I'm talking from the moon signs perspective, I'm talking about what can be the challenges, what can be the hindrances, what can be the obstacles from your mental makeup to your potential material results. And that's why my job is to warn you or to let you know in advance that these are the things that you may go through mentally in your mental makeup, and that may be hindrance or maybe even a support towards material results. So to know and to get the maximum out of the material results, the money, the career, the relationship, business, investments, returns, all that perspective, to get those, you also need to make your decisions using your mind, emotional perspective, not to fear, not to have anxieties, and also to be warned where you may not be able to have the confidence or where you should have the confidence rather than spoil a decision. Because what is your horoscope? Horoscope is a bag of potentials, not a guarantee. The potential has to be acted upon by choices that you make, and the choices we make is by from a mental makeup, a emotional mental makeup, a wisdom. So that's why we need to combine the results and see rather than alone. So I want to take up one example of how to combine the results of a transit, of a transiting planet, both from a rising sign perspective as well as the moon sign perspective. Now let's see, take an example from any one rising sign. Here I'm taking the example of the Cancer rising sign. So here I have the transiting planets, which is especially the major planets, which is Saturn, Rahu, Ketu and Jupiter in their transiting positions now. But I have the highlighted planets because I'm talking about Jupiter's transit. So as well as we're talking about from the moon's perspective. So I've highlighted the natal position of Jupiter and the natal position of the moon in the person's birth chart to be able to clarify how to look at the combined results of a transiting planet. Here we are talking about Jupiter, and so I've highlighted Jupiter, and because we're also talking about the moon sign perspective, so I've also highlighted the natal position, the birth chart placements of Jupiter and the moon. So you are able to see two Jupiters here, because this Jupiter in Taurus is the transiting Jupiter, and this Jupiter in Libra in the 4th house is the natal position, the birth chart position of Jupiter, and the birth chart position, the natal position of moon. Now firstly, when you look at any transiting planet, you need to see how far is the transiting planet going from its natal position. So here, if you look at where is the planet's place in the birth chart, how strong it is, in what dignities it is, in what yogas or doshas it is in. So firstly, let us see the analysis of, or always start with the analysis of how your natal chart, the transiting planet, how strong, in what dignity it is in the natal chart. Here, for this person, the Jupiter is in the 4th house in the Libra sign. Now, firstly, we know that for Cancer rising sign people, Jupiter gets exalted in Cancer, and that's why I've taken the example of Cancer rising sign for this example. So this is the powerful Jupiter, and Jupiter is placed in the 4th house. In the Kal Purush Kundli, the 4th house has the sign of Cancer. So this is a very, very strong Jupiter, because it is placed in the 4th house, and in the Cancer rising sign person, Jupiter gets exalted in Cancer. So usually it gives very auspicious, very good results for Cancer sign people, especially if it's placed well. This is a powerful Jupiter because it is in the 4th house, which in the Kalpurush Kundli is in the Cancer sign. However, Jupiter in a Kendra is a very, very powerful position anyways, because from the Kendra, Jupiter controls the opposite house. So here Jupiter is controlling one house, the 4th house of domestic life. So this is the placement of a person who is very stable, very wise in his domestic life. He knows to expand the prosperity of the domestic life, to keep the home environment peaceful, happy, prosperous, very wise. How he deals with his fellow people, with his family members is very, very wise. and it is also powerful because it is in the sign of Libra, the sign of relationships, the natural 7th house of the Kalpurush Kundli. So this is a very, very strong Jupiter for a personal life, for a married life, for a domestic life also. The people whoever will be with him or living with him will see the person as very wise, very calm, very very happy, because Jupiter is also a very jovial character. It's a very sporty character. So this is a very powerful Jupiter. From a career perspective, it has many denotations. This person could be in real estate, 4th house, could be in consulting, relationship counseling also, because it is Libra. And because it is the 4th house, it could also be working out of home. So there are many denotations to it anyway. So very powerful Jupiter. Now where is the moon? The moon in the natal chart is in the Mool Trikona sign of Jupiter. Again, a very powerful moon, in spite of being placed in the 6th house, 6 houses away from its rising sign, from its Lagna, from its home. Still a powerful placement for moon, because it is in the Sagittarius sign ruled by Jupiter, and it has a very special relation with Jupiter here. Why? Moon is the 3rd from Jupiter, which means the person will work hard on his emotions to keep the home environment happy and to keep the home environment peaceful. So any opposition that he gets from the home environment, this person will resolve it very peacefully. And how many houses is Jupiter away from moon? Jupiter is 11 houses away from the moon, which means because of his emotional makeup, because of his being very supportive, very caring, he will get a lot of gains, because the 11th house is the house of gains and wishes and desires getting fulfilled, which means in his emotional perspective, through service of home, of domestic life, and to people in large, he gets a lot of gains, he gets a lot of recognition, he gets a lot of adulation from people, because the 7th sign of Libra is people. And Jupiter also rules the 9th house of gains here, and Jupiter also rules the 6th house of service. So gains coming from a higher learning, wisdom, consulting, guiding people. So very powerful placement. Now, how far is the transiting planet going from its own natal position and from the moon? Now the transiting Jupiter is going 8 houses away from the natal placement of Jupiter. Now on the face of it, it can look as it's 8 houses away, it is disastrous. However, it is on the contrary. Why? Because one, Jupiter has gone into the Taurus sign. Taurus sign is the 2nd house of the Kalpurush Kundli. Second house is the second house is what the Jupiter is the Karaka of. Jupiter is the significator of the 2nd house. So it is very, very strongly placed when it gets into the Taurus sign. Expands money, expands finances, and yet it is the 11th house of masses. So Jupiter going into the 11th house of masses and into the Taurus sign, which means this person is expanding gains, prosperity, money, his network connections, his social connections, and working for masses, serving masses through upheavals from obstacles, because Jupiter has gone 8 houses away of upheavals and obstacles. However, it is also the 8th house of transformation, which means through his wisdom, through his consulting, he will bring about a transformation in people's lives. He will be able to help people in the upheavals, in the obstacles, and through that this person will make money. Whoever it is, man or woman, will make a lot of money, will expand the social network also. So this is a transformative position, helpful position. Now, why I've taken this example is because here the transiting planet is making 8 and 6 houses away from the natal positions of Jupiter and Moon. So this is a special case, and that's why I've taken this. Moon is 6 houses away from Jupiter. So 6 houses away from Jupiter, which means this person will face opposition also from his competition. And this person will also face competition from people who are working behind the back, and will also face competition in how he is dealing with people who are his those people who he is serving. So which means his potential to be emotionally connected with people who is helping is also high, but he'll deal with those people with a lot of wisdom, with a lot of clarity, and with a lot of large-heartedness. However, this becomes a very auspicious placement because Moon is placed in the Sagittarius sign, the Mool Trikona sign of Jupiter. And Jupiter going 6 houses away from Moon means that Moon is anyways in the 6th house in the natal chart, in the sign ruled by Jupiter. which is Sagittarius, and Jupiter is gone 6 houses away. So this is a powerful placement which shows that in his service, in his mental makeup to serve, he is expanding his social connections, he is expanding his prosperity, and his wishes and desires are also coming true. His wishes and desires are coming true from his domestic life also, peace, tranquility, stability at home, and also through his service. So overall, this is still a pretty good placement in spite of the transiting Jupiter going 8 and 6 houses away from Moon. So he may face some competition surely. There may be some transformations also connected to home. The person may travel, there may be change in his home, he may change the place where he stays, he may change the way he works, but this is for more auspicious results rather than negative. So when you look at any results for a transiting planet, you need to look at from the natal position of the planet as well as the moon position of the planet, and combine the results and see rather than individual. Similarly for the Saturn transit as well. For the Saturn transit, let's take an example, because Saturn is not transiting away from Aquarius. It is transited into a different nakshatra, but within its own sign of Aquarius. So let's see the transit example of Saturn as well. Now for this person, his natal position of Saturn is in the 10th house in the Aries sign. So here on the face of it, Saturn looks to be debilitated. However, the natal position of Jupiter for this person is in the Libra sign. So they are in mutual aspect. So this is again a very powerful, this is a very strong Dharam Karmadipati yoga, one of the most powerful of yogas. And his Mars, which is the 10th ruler, is also in his 10th house. So this is again a very stronger Kendra Dharam Karmadipati yoga, because Mars is the ruler of the 10th house, Jupiter is the ruler of the 9th house, and mutual aspect. Saturn is the Karaka of the 10th house and mutual aspect with Jupiter. So very, very powerful placement. And mind you, Mars in the 10th house in Aries sign, a very strong Ruchak Mahapurush yoga. So very, very overall auspiciously, very, very strong, powerful yogas. Now let's look at the results that the transiting Saturn is giving. Firstly, Saturn has transited into the Aquarius sign, into the 8th house. Again, for the person, the 8th house is coming into the picture again and again. 8th house of upheavals, emergencies, helping others, expanding others, social life, masses, because the Aquarius sign is involved. Saturn is going 11 houses away. Now mind you, if you remember, Jupiter is also 11 houses away from his natal position of Moon, Jupiter being in the sign of Libra, and Saturn going 11 houses away from its natal position, which means this is a transit of Jupiter and Saturn, which is bringing him gains, which is bringing him his wishes and desires getting fulfilled, strongly related to career. Saturn being debilitated in the 10th house means this is not a material person. This person is not chasing money. He is not asking for money. He is serving people, he is helping people, and through that the gains are more from a societal perspective. Now if you see, where is the Moon from the natal position? Moon is in the 9th house from the natal position of Saturn, which means again gains coming from higher learning. So his career is connected to higher learning, serving people with empathy, with support, with love, with care, with affection, overcoming competition and serving through people, and through that making gains through his higher learning. However, Saturn is going how many places away from his natal position of Moon? 3 houses away. So here this means that the person will work hard on the emotional front to help people, to serve people. This person will also expand his social network, and overall this person will work hard to be able to help people and to guide people. So overall the perspective is good. Only thing is, Saturn going into the 8th house and own sign is, Saturn is very protective. Saturn is very protective of his health. Saturn is very protective of the domestic life as well. And if you look at Saturn's 10th aspect is on the Scorpio sign, which Jupiter is also aspecting. So this means the person's focus will be on love, affection, romance, children, gains, power, authority, change of job, change of career, change of place of work or place of residence also. Overall these things are coming for this person. So friends, now that we have seen how from a transiting Jupiter and then from a transiting Saturn, you should be able to combine the results and see how the transits of, especially the major transits, when you are looking at it from a moon side perspective also, the overall picture is giving you what potential, is giving you what results. Don't be overawed by a transiting planet going into the 8th house, going into the 6th house, or going into a debilitation sign, there are some warning signs, there is some mental makeup also, how it will be affected. There may be some anxiety, there may be fear, there may be frustration, but don't be overawed. If I give you some message that your moon may go through this, don't be too fearful just because of that. You need to be careful, not fearful. My message to you is not to fear, but to be careful that, okay, you may not be very confident, you may take some hasty decisions, you may take some wrong decisions, you may take decisions which may not empower you, which may not be good for you. So it is more to warn you from the moon's perspective, whereas the planet's placement transiting from the rising sign is the material results. So learn to combine the results from both the rising sign perspective as well as the moon sign's perspective to get a proper, wholesome, result-oriented analysis of how the transiting planet is bringing different potentials for you, different results for you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.